Hello, good morning. And yes, I have my best friend George with me this morning, who cuddled up in the middle of the night with all of that rain. Adopt, don't shop, people out there. Listen, we're at Camp North End this morning, and we're enjoying the breeze, aren't we? We're going to be chatting with someone. I love meeting somebody who has a cooler job than I do. The Placemaker here at Camp North, and we got that coming up for you here in just a little bit. Erin is the mix master doing the music today, in my ear all the time. I love her. She's a great singer, and she does like princess stuff at birthday parties. You might see her there. If we could get a little George Harrison for my dog George Harrison here in a second, that would be amazing. Coming up after the joke you could tell at school, ladies and gentlemen, a joke you could tell at school, virtual or otherwise. What do you get, George, when you cross a Cocker Spaniel, okay, a poodle, and a rooster? A Cocker Spaniel, a poodle, and a rooster? Cock-a-poodle-doo! Crank up the George Harrison. I got my mind set on you, George. I got my mind set. Camp North End. This doesn't happen a lot to me, okay? You viewers out there for years and years, you know, I love meeting someone who has a cooler job than I do right here sharing all this stuff with you. This is one of those people. Alex, hi.
Hi, Wilson.
You're the placemaker here at Camp North End.
Yes, I am.
What is a placemaker?
Well, you know, every place has a unique story and has a unique history. And I'm in charge of the outdoor public spaces here at Camp North End, and I'm trying to pull out and illuminate all the unique histories that have happened here.
So if you've been to the Boileryard area where we are right now, your kids have maybe climbed on some of these brightly colored items here, and these are things that you found right here at historic Camp North End that you've kind of repurposed.
Yeah, that's right. Repurposing is kind of a theme here. This is a large 75-acre adaptive reuse project, and we are reimagining spaces, reimagining these old warehouses, these, you know, from the Ford factory from 1924 that was built then, and then also the old Army warehouses built in the early 40s. These are old industrial objects we found within the warehouses, and we thought it'd be, you know, it's right on theme for us to not build just a playground that you might find anywhere. This is very unique to this history and very unique to this
Well, I mean,
place.
where else are you going to go? And your kids can climb on a bulldozer bucket over there. I mean, and all of that kind of stuff, and so pipes and everything. Yeah. I do have to ask you this, okay?
What's up?
You've got access to so many cool things. We're going to show you a lot more this morning, so stay tuned. Have you found anything here that really surprised you?
There are a couple things. I would say we have found one tunnel, and we have found one pneumatic tube. The pneumatic tube is the thing that you find at the bank where you put the canister and it flies through the air. Yeah. We found one of those that went about a quarter mile long, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any idea what they use that for? Who knows?
I have an idea.
You ever do?
Yeah.
We'll find out later. Stay tuned. That's called a tease. We're going to go exploring all the cool stuff here at Camp North End. Alex, the placemaker here, who also helps out on some of the walking tours. I'm a big fan, all kinds of good stuff, and just being able to reuse these things and recycle is pretty cool. Stay tuned. All kinds of good stuff. It's Wilson's World and George at Camp North End this morning. We'll be back.
To you. 10 to 8, Wilson is exploring Camp North End with George this morning. Where are you?
Hey!
Derek, I'm trying to figure out, like, which one of these do I have to pull out for the whole pile to fall? You don't want to do that. Good morning, everybody. I can't tell you where we are right now because we're in the catacombs of Camp North End. Don't try and find this place. Seriously, don't. But this is kind of, Alex, you're kind of, I don't even know what to call this. Hideout, hideaway, workshop, clubhouse thing. You're the placemaker here. What is all this stuff?
We refer to this as our historical salvage.
Okay.
And as we go through these buildings and renovate them, we try and keep as much of this stuff as possible. We know that we can repurpose it at a future date and reimagine it. So, for example, those pipes that you're standing in front of, this big barrel here, this was basically a disassembled old boiler. That boiler created steam and created the heat for the buildings. We are not going to be using a boiler to heat our buildings anymore. Modern HVAC is coming in. Yeah. So instead of sending this to the dump, we want to keep it and we want to make a sculpture with it or repurpose it.
Well, and if you were watching earlier in the hour, that's kind of, you could turn these into anything, stuff that kids can play on, a cool art piece, something, a nice piece for one of the businesses that are going in here. Really, you're using your imagination to kind of bring these things back and give them another life.
That's right. That's right. And we've got stacks of old windows, stacks of old.
Now those windows over there, those big glass pieces over this way. Go over this side, Mikey. Show those over there. Tell me about that glass, because that, my friend, that's old school, and I know for just some people that work with glass, That's some serious stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a really cool, like corrugated, wavy, half-inch thick glass with chicken wire inside. Hard to find. Old kind of vintage glass, and we're definitely going to keep that. And that came from our clear stories up towards our roofs, and we're keeping that.
So those were like the sunroof kind of, the sunlight kind of things.
Right, exactly.
Wow. So many cool pieces here. How much do you enjoy your job?
Oh, man, I love my job. It's both heady and exciting, and we get and strategic, and then also very creative, and I can get my hands dirty with,
I love this. I love meeting somebody that has a cooler job than I do, because I got a pretty cool gig. So this is really cool. We're at Camp North End this morning. Listen, if you want to find out more about what they're doing here at Camp North End, take one of the walking tours. You will learn so much. They probably will not bring you into this space, but you'll learn about what they're doing in this space. You can find out more at WCCBCharlotte.com or Camp North End, camp.nc. Camp.nc. There you go. Good stuff. Hey, we got more weather, traffic, and a whole lot of fun and more from Camp North End. I got to go find George. That's coming up. WCCB Charlotte. We'll be back.
After 8 now, Wilson's World taking us around Camp North End this morning.
Hey.
Oh, here
Come on,
comes
Georgie. Come on.
Oh,
hey.
George!
Oh, hi. Listen, we're out here at Camp North End exploring these tanks, these 8,000-gallon tanks, I believe, 8,000-pound tanks, rather. They were in the ground underneath the Boileryard, and they dug them up. We're talking about all the cool stuff they've repurposed at Camp North End. We're also sniffing every single plant and rock we can find this morning with George. All kinds of cool stuff. We're going to have more with Alex, the Placemaker, Camp North End. Pretty cool story. Stay tuned. That's coming up on Wilson's World in just a few. Adopt, don't shop, people.
And you might see some territory marked live on TV. You just never know.
Can you sit? Can you sit?
He's showing out.
He's the best.
He'll do it for a second.
We're doing a little training this morning, just hanging out with Alex here. Hey, good morning, everybody. I brought George with me. It's a Friday. It's fun. There's just so many cool things to see and sniff if you're a dog at Camp North End. Alex is here with me. We're just tuning in. Alex is the Placemaker. If you don't know what that is, rewind the tape or something, or go watch online later, because Alex is one of the few people. I love sharing stories like this because he's got a cooler job than I do. I love this. Camp North End again. What are these big tanks? Like when people are driving by, you can hear the traffic. These were underground at the Boileryard?
Yes, they were. They were underground at the Boileryard, put in by the Ford company back in the 1920s.
Back when they were making the Model T and the Model A here.
Yeah, Model Ts and Model A's, and that worked with in conjunction with the water tower, creating steam power that powered the Ford factory.
So you dug them up and you thought, these are pretty cool. Let's do something with it.
Yeah, exactly. We diverted them from going to the dump or, and we salvaged them and create a sculpture out of them. I think they're fascinating. They're half-inch thick. They're riveted. Yeah. It's that old technology. And so, we made a little walking path through them.
And now one thing I want to note, too, and, I've been in Charlotte for forever, okay? And driving by here, the building used to not do this. We would be standing in the building years ago. You guys cut the building? What did you do?
One of the parts of my job and the parts of all of our jobs here is reimagining this space for humans, for human scale, not industry and factories and shipping and things like that. So when we got to this building, there was not a way for people to get around or to drive around this building. So we cut this in half. We exposed the architecture above. And if you see down here, down the way towards the city, we actually cut the wall and moved it in 10 feet to make a walking path for humans to actually be able to walk around the building as well. So we've left this architecture here. That was a decision. We could have demolished it.
Right.
And we don't want to demolish as much as possible. We want to leave it and expose it and show people what used to be here and kind of know the history of this place.
I love this right here because this is so cool. It's old and it's new. It's kind of some really great architecture blending in with what was already here.
Yes, that's right. And, we've worked with local artists, muralists. There's murals all over the site, as well as, the Wall Poems group created wall poetry that wraps this entire building. So you can walk a quarter mile around, do a walking meeting, walk and talk, get the creative juices flowing and read a wall poem.
A lot of thought has gone into Camp North End.
Yeah. There's a lot of strategic planning, a lot of groups involved with it. And, we're 5 years into a 20-year project. Yeah. There's a lot more to go. I
got to tell you, when I first heard about this and Varian, I was like, are you crazy? Oh, my gosh, no, I was completely wrong because, I remember driving up here and the building was, right there. And listen, so cool. We're not done. We're going to go to what next?
We're going to go inside to a finished space so you can see what it looks like, kind of melding the new and the old.
Okay, this is going to be really cool. It's Camp North End. He's the placemaker. I love sharing stories like this with y'all, especially on a Friday. Big thanks to Camp North End for having us out. We got more details up for you later this morning at WCCBCharlotte.com. Stay tuned. We got more at Wilson's World in just a few.
This morning,
The baby's sleeping. Listen, we're here at Camp North End this morning exploring with the placemaker. If you've been to Camp North End, I don't know if you've seen this space. Good googly moogly, is this awesome? This is Camp North End. Can you believe it? We're going to tell you about this space coming up on Wilson's World in just a few. I got George here. Yeah, we were just kidding. He's not really asleep. We were just resting a little bit. He loves going on field trips with Dad because, well, he kind of gets worn out and he gets to sniff all kinds of good stuff. I'm sniffing around in this place because Alex is here, the placemaker. We're at Camp North End. If you're watching this compared to our other segments earlier, we were in like a warehouse area and we're outside. There's some people watching this, they're surprised and they're like, is that really at Camp North End? Yes, it is. What is this amazing space behind us?
Yeah, this is a space that we've just finished. It's a spec suite. It's going to be a future office space for a company for 300 to 500 employees. And this is an example I wanted to show you of where we have really left as much of the history as we can. You can see the patina is still left on all the wood. We left the marks on the concrete. We just sealed it up. We have different kind of accent walls that we used, materials from the site to kind of keep these salvaged items on site. So there's all sorts of cool fun facts and fun features about this building. I'll tell you one that I really love is that it's like 95% of the buildings on this site were built by the Army in the 1940s. They were built with steel and with brick. And at this exact juncture, when this building was built, they were actually taking all steel and you could only use it they were reducing steel usage around the entire country. You could only use it directly for the war effort, artillery and things like that. So even the Army itself had to build this building out of wood timber.
And if you look up, you can see the wood roof and the timber, and that's such a cool thing. Also means your cell phone will work in this building.
Yes, your cell phone can work in here. Which is kind of a cool thing.
So when I walked in here, I said, this looks like a set from one of those TV shows set in like a big advertising office or something like that at first glance. But then when you look and you see the detail and you see the things that you've left and the little signs and you said the mark on the floor, this is kind of the best of modern with just that history, which is so rare in the Charlotte area, where we're going to kind of keep this history and keep the story instead of just building a shiny new thingy. You've got the latest in technology. You got the HVAC in here. You've upgraded so much. Man, you've got to be just so excited to have more spaces like this coming soon to Camp North End.
We do. We love it. We find it inspiring. And I think to work here is also just kind of gets the creative juices flowing, you know? And you can go outside and you can be on this old rail line and you see the city skyline at the same time. You're in this historical place and, both of them at the same time. I think that this is a really creative place to, work and to play, to hang out and to live.
Listen, I got to be honest, and I was telling you, I was kind of, years ago, I was unsure about this. I was like, what are they thinking? What are they doing up there? Good googly moogly. I was wrong because, my gosh, you guys have completely nailed it up here. I love it. And they've really only just started. Listen, we'll have a link up for you to Camp North End. Find out more and see more of the history here at WCCBCharlotte.com. Big thanks to Alex and just the whole crew for getting us in here, seeing some places that, well, you couldn't see, but you can see them right here with us on Wilson's World. For now, that's it. We got more coming up in just a few. Stay tuned.